Nice to see you again. I'll start off with the title race if I can, just to sort of, as we've gone into March now, the days are getting longer, we're getting a bit more sunshine, it kind of feels as if we're really in the business end of the season. Just how are you approaching it, and maybe how important are the last 3 results to send sort of confidence messages to yourself, get momentum back, but also messaging to your opponents as well, that Arsenal is just a team that keeps on winning?
There's no messages to the opponent, it's just messages to our player to continue to do the same that we do better every single day, and that's the only discussion, to be fair, that we are having amongst the squad.
Just a couple of things on just the importance of the last 3 results. Just how important is it within any club, with any environment, is that when you suffer results that you don't want, that you can get back to winning ways? It's often talked about so much, but just how important is it?
Really important. It gives you momentum, it gives you confidence. Obviously, it puts you in a much better position on the league table, which is at the end of the day the most important thing. And the team again is in a good place, and really looking forward to the game tomorrow.
In terms of potential bonuses, Gabriel Jesus, we're waiting to see how the injury regresses, how his recovery. Where is he, and maybe being available for you again?
It's not far now. I don't want to give a timeline, but he's doing certain things with the team, certain things outside the team still. So he's not very close, but he's not far at all. And he's feeling better every day, and the doctors are confident with the way that the injury is evolving, and we are in a good place with him, I think.
I was at the game where it happens. Is it as expected, the sort of the recovery and the process, or have there been bumps or positives along the way of his journey?
No, I think it's been pretty straightforward. Obviously, at the beginning, we were really concerned with the possible extent of the injury, because we were talking about a few options there, and thankfully it wasn't that bad. But yeah, it was a long-term injury, requires surgery, and it's not pleasing, especially the first few weeks. But knowing Gabi, he's been through that before. His mentality is just incredible, and I think the team has done a really good job with him to put him in the position he's today.
I know you're on a journey with the team this season, and have been since the project coming together. Just how important are a couple of players where there are potentially contract discussions going on, Bukayo Saka, William Saliba, etc. Can you update us on maybe how they're going? But maybe more importantly is, how important are those types of players on the project that you're trying to build here at Arsenal?
Every player is very important. Obviously, there are players with special circumstances contractually, and we are trying to deal with them. But I don't want to cause any distraction in this moment with any of those conversations. So whenever something is ready to get done and it's good news, we will announce it.
Just a final one for me, if I may, just on the game itself. What are the managers? Do you take any notice of advanced results? Because the title race this is between a number of teams, but yourselves and City, they're playing before you. Do you ever look, before you play the Bournemouth game, we'll be looking at the results that come in before that? How City have done against Newcastle?
We are looking at the games for sure when they are live. Before that, it can become as a stimulus sometimes, but I don't think that there is need for any extra motivation. We know the difficulty of the challenge. We are really looking forward to it, and we go game by game.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Becky, Premier League.
Hi.
Just a quick squad update, if that's all right. Eddie Nketiah looked to be moving a little bit gingerly at the end of the last game. Is he all right?
Yeah, he was. We are assessing him, and it's a bit uncertain what's going to happen with him, to be honest, on the training session. But let's see. Let's keep the options open. He's very positive about it, so hopefully he will be fine.
And Jorginho, illness?
George is fine. He had an illness. Yeah, he was suffering, but to be fair, he put a great effort and shift the first half. We decided to take him off, but he's fit now.
Perfect. And the threat that Bournemouth possess, obviously they're at the other end of the table to you. They're fighting for points every game. How do you see their threats?
Well, I watched the game that they played against Brighton away, the game against Wolves, the game against Newcastle, and the Man City one. And to be fair, I'm really impressed with what they are doing. They are really, really aggressive. They haven't conceded much in those games, and they could have very different results in 2 of those 4 games. The Man City game was the quality when they open up and the way they finished the action to make the score really big, but it was a really competitive match again.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Do you have a plan for the kind of the running to the end of the season? Because it is kind of uncharted territory for many of your players. Have you spoken about what the next couple of months could be like to your players?
Not that far. We never talked that far, but we always have a plan and what we do in the following weeks, and we stick to that, and we will assess where we are in a month's time.
Do you have to call on some of your experience when you're talking to younger players about the kind of intensity of the springtime at the end of a football season?
They know. A lot of them have already experienced it. Even they were challenging for different things, but we know that the closer that gets to the end, the attention will be higher and the demands will be still as high as they've been the whole season.
Can I just ask about the story this morning about the Newcastle purchase not being what it might have been, and a lot of football clubs are unhappy that the way Newcastle was purchased, there's some disagreement as to the nature of that, and that's of course changed because Newcastle are such a strong team in the Premier League. Do you share that frustration that it seems unclear and that things are not what they were?
I'm sorry, but I'm not going to make any comment in any other club.
Hi Mikel, hope you're well. You've shown lots of different qualities throughout this season. I mean, just has this team reached its full potential yet, or if so, do you think there's so much more to come from this side?
Much more to come. I think we can do things much better in many aspects of the game. We still have players with immense growth potential, individually and collectively, and as a club as well. We have still a lot of things that we can do much better, and that's the aim. And we have to be really seeking for that excellence and that perfectionism, and trying to recruit the best people to do that and have all the time the right mindset to achieve that level.
I mean, Alexander Zinchenko impressed again during the week with some really clever passes in the build-up to a couple of those goals. Do you think he could play further forward, later on in his career, or do you feel like that position where he is at the minute is his best position?
He can, and he adapts to certain positions that we have in the field in a great way, and sometimes he occupies those spaces. We will see. Sometimes teams put you questions and you need Alex in certain position. He can play wider and higher off the pitch as well, and he's really comfortable there as well. So it's good to have that versatility with players.
And looking into the game this weekend, Gary O'Neill has said that what sets apart this Arsenal side from all the other teams in the league is the team's intensity. And I remember speaking to you a couple of weeks ago and you said you're an energy giver and not an energy sucker. So how important has that energy and that intensity been to the team this season?
Really important. It's part of our identity and the way we want to play the game, and we demand that to ourselves every single day, because without that I think we become an average team.
And lastly from me, I'm sure we'll be able to relate to Gary O'Neill, obviously a first-time manager in the Premier League this season. I mean, as someone who worked in as assistant, and Gary has worked in the youth teams, how difficult is it stepping up being an assistant or working in the youth teams to managing first time in the Premier League?
I know him for many years because we've been in the league together. Really impressed with what he's done through his career, and really impressed for the way he approaches every game, the way he sets the team and what the team is doing right now. I know him personally as well, so I think he's doing a great job, and it's great to see those managers at that age as well occupying those roles and doing well.
Thank you. Best luck this weekend.
Thank you.
Mark?
Hi Mikel. I know you don't want to put a time frame on Gabriel Jesus' return, but do you expect him back before the international break?
So you want me to give you a time? We don't know. Yeah, I'm saying we know far away, but obviously he needs to do much more with the team. So let's see how the next week, 10 days develop, and we have a much better picture.
Is it a mark on how well your team have done without him that if he was fit tomorrow he wouldn't necessarily be in the team, given how important he was before the injury?
Well, probably that wouldn't be fair on him, because he was starting every single game, and what he produced for the team it was phenomenal. But it's true now that we need to see when he gets back at what level he gets back, how we're going to fit him in, how we're going to load him with minutes and in which games, and then like everybody else, he wouldn't have to earn his place. But we know what Gavi can give to the team, that's for sure.
Your first ever game as Arsenal manager was against Bournemouth. A lot's changed personnel-wise, I think, since then. How do you think you've changed in that span as a manager from your first game to this one?
Probably a better question for somebody else, not for myself to judge how I am.
Do you feel that in that time you've learned
A lot, but given we've had COVID, you've had issues with players? You've gone through quite a bit of the mill almost, haven't you, since you started?
Yeah, a lot has happened since. Obviously, I have learned a lot of things. I have had great moments with a lot of people. At the end, there are experiences in your life that mark you forever, and especially when you have a role like the one I have at the club, even more. But overall, looking back, I think it's been a really fascinating journey the last 3 years.
Charles?
Hi, Mikel. Sorry, just to quickly go back to Gabby again, but has he started any sort of full contact training with the players yet, or is it still not quite at that stage?
Not full contact yet.
And when he does come back, do you envisage maybe an under-21s game first for him, so it ease him in, get some minutes, 45 minutes, for example?
We need to see, depending how busy the schedule is and whether we have a space between games to fit that in, whether we feel he needs it and how much we're going to get from it. Some questions, good questions, to ask in the next 7 to 10 days, I think.
Just finally, obviously, you've got the Europa League starting up again on Thursday night. Is this the sort of time of the season now where you kind of look at this, you can almost play 2 teams each week? You know, you can kind of rest up for the Premier League and then swap for the Premier League, get into a rhythm of 2 separate teams almost for the two competitions.
Depends. Obviously, we haven't had 2 teams available for the last 5 months, so we didn't have more than 16, 17 outfield players, so that would have been impossible. Let's see if we have the chance to do that, and we want to manage the rotation in that way. It's a possibility. But at the end, players have to earn the right to play, and not because you have 2 times a week, you cannot play those games. So we will see what we do.
Kai?
Hi. With Zinchenko in the build-up to the first goal on Wednesday, he's obviously starting as a left-back, but ends up on the right-hand side of the pitch before giving the pass. There are some managers who'd be a bit frustrated to see players so far out of their starting positions, but do you sort of encourage that changing of spaces and popping up in different areas, or would you rather sort of see him stay on one side?
If he gives the ball away there and we get a counter-attack and they score, I will be really upset. Like every manager, he puts a great ball in, Bukayo is inside, he scores. Happy flowers, we are all happy. He has the freedom to move in certain spaces, like B does in the action where he receives the ball, and especially in certain games against certain blocks. But yeah, at the same time, you require certain discipline in the positions to do what you have to do.
Mikel, can I just ask, obviously you've coped really well without Gabby for these sort of 3 months. Does that give you confidence going into the run in that if you meet adversity, you lose a player, the squad will be able to cope with it?
Yeah, because that was a huge blow for the team, first of all, because we knew the importance of Gabby, what he was bringing to the team, and the way he transformed the spirit and the belief, and at the end the level of performances that we could reach. But to be fair, the team made a step forward and players took individually more responsibility, and they were really keen to maintain that level, and we have done it so far, and it's really pleasing to see that players are not looking to find the right excuse or just look aside and expect somebody else to do it, but to take initiative and developing that leadership qualities, I think is really important.
Have you seen players grow without having a leader in the team? Someone like Martinelli, who obviously very close with Gabby, but now he's been out, he's scored 4 games in a row. Have you seen a change in those players when they've had to sort of fight without him?
Yeah, well, I think Gabby in particular was really good as well, playing with the big Gabby, but we needed something different from the team probably, and we had to adapt a little bit our way of playing because of the qualities that Gabby had, and that was as well something really pleasing to see. So in general, probably better than we expected, and now we have to continue to do that and hopefully bring him back so he can take us to a different level.
Right, that's the live section.